Welcome to A.N.N. This is Oliver W. Long's story, April 9th, 1868. It has been 3 years since General Robert E. Lee surrendered the Army of Northern Virginia, 7,892 men and 2,100 cavalry at Appomattox Courthouse. We are pleased that the General is willing to talk with us and express himself candidly about some subjects that most of our viewers have been very anxious to learn about. Now he is president of Washington College in Lexington, Virginia. Now, may I welcome the hero of the South, General Robert E. Lee.
How do you do, Mr. Longstory, sir?
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything for you or your horse?
Well, frankly, ma'am, my faithful horse traveler could use some oats, but there'll be nothing for me.
General Lee, would you mind sharing with us your personal philosophy on slavery?
You know, I wrote a letter to my wife after the Mexican-American War, and let me put it this way. I said, few will not acknowledge that slavery as an institution is moral and politically evil. I think it is a greater evil to the white man than it was for the color race. However, the blacks are insurably better off here in America than they would have been in Africa, socially, physically, and morally.
Would you tell me what you mean by that?
Well, the discipline that they were undergoing was necessary for the further instructions of the race. And as we prepared them, I hoped it would be better things for them. I always believed that their emancipation would result sooner from the mild, melting influences of a merciful God and Christianity than from that stormy rhetoric of the abolitionists. I would have left the progress as well as the results in the hand of he who chooses to work on a slow influence. The abolitionists must have known this, that they had neither the right nor the power to the benefit of the slave and must not excite angry feelings in the master.
Now, I want to ask him a question.
Miss Flum, be nice.
Do you have any regrets or apologies for losing the Civil War?
General, you don't have to answer that if it's too embarrassing.
No, it's okay. I don't mind answering that question. First of all, General Grant was very kind at the surrender of Appomattox. I would say from the hour I surrendered my sword that day, I passed among men. I will live in quiet, simple dignity and display neither bitterness nor regret over the irrevocable past. And to answer your question about my apologies, I have none. No, I did only what my duty demanded. I could have taken no other course without dishonor. And if it all were to be done over again, I should act precisely in the same manner.
Volumes 1 through 10 on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Volumes 1 and 2. Introduction on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Slavery explained in the words, writing, and songs of contemporary politicians, abolitionists, slaves, pro-slavery advocates, and others. Volume 3, Politics, on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. The institution of slavery and how it was written into the U.S. Constitution. Volume 4, Heroes and Heroines, on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Liberated from the shackles of slavery, countless slaves made extraordinary contributions to society. Volume 5, Obstacles on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Slavery culturally entrenched and protected by religious, political, and social obstacles. Volume 6, Martyrs on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. People black and white gave their lives in the fight for freedom from slavery. Volume 7, Kidnappers and Justice on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. The law protected slavery, and the scales of justice were in favor of the slave owners. Harriet Beecher Stowe, The Evil of Slavery. Stowe reveals the people and the conditions that inspired her explosive novel about slavery and life in the South. Volume 8, The Legacy of What Slavery Left Behind. War-ravaged people struggle to rebuild their society and come to terms with the repercussion of slavery after the Civil War. Volume 9, Those Dedicated Angels on the Road to the Abolition of Slavery. Recognizing the work of 12 abolitionists whose extraordinary dedication helped to free the enslaved, these are the people who fought for a higher standard of mankind. Volume 10, coming soon, summer 2013. The Beginning of Slavery. Indentured servants and the transatlantic slave trade. Colonial plantations needed labor, more orphans, loose women, convicts, and Quakers than the Old World could send as indentured servants. So the colonists looked to Africa, and the transatlantic slave trade thrived for 450 years.